Welcome to the Food People's food trend predictions for 2010. Following a year of economic and governmental flux in many parts of the world that has shaken consumers' psyches and also driven some consumers to challenge their shopping status quos, we ask, what effect will this have on the food trend predictions for 2010? First, we take a look at the cuisines that we believe will be influencing food retailing, fast food, casual dining and upscale dining during 2010. We expect to see food influences from the US, particularly the southern states, influencing the casual food and dining scene during 2010. In addition, we expect to see more from the Amazon and Peru, influencing particularly the health food agenda and premium upscale dining. We also expect to see a greater influence from Vietnam and Korea, influencing particularly the casual and fast food dining scene. During 2009, we saw the fresh, zesty simplicity of Mexican cuisine reborn. We expect to see this to continue in street food and upscale dining alike during 2010. We also expect to see a greater influence from Scandinavia in 2010, with its simple, low intervention, grounded in nature cuisine, with some of its local specialities such as lingonberries, cloudberries, ramson and chickweed, as well as the research being carried out at the University of Copenhagen to challenge the supremacy of the Mediterranean diet in the context of health and palatability. We also expect to see a greater level of influence from what we call the Middle Eastern Belt, which to us means Turkey, the United Arab Emirates, Morocco, Syria, Lebanon, and perhaps Greece as well. And lastly, we expect to see more food influenced by seasonality and the simplicity of French bistro. So those are the cuisines that we expect to have influence during 2010, but what else is on the trends horizon? We expect to see more food cocooning during 2010, using food and dining at home as a way of re-establishing the heart of the home in the kitchen. Think a decline in meals eaten out, family meal times, dinner parties, Sunday lunch and home cooking. With 1.8 billion people now online, we expect to see a greater influence during 2010 from digital food. Think food-based apps for your iPhone, the influence of social networking, digital people power, food customization over the web and more food by mail. As consumers develop an increased need to express individuality, we expect to see more food products and services, allowing the opportunity for consumers to customize their food products. On the back of a growing anti-restaurant movement, we expect more consumers to be opting into the no-frills quality of street food, which includes food trucks, pop-up restaurants, food halls and market. Think fresh, tasty, authentic food in the informal, non-restaurant surroundings. We expect the restaurant scene to continue to evolve during 2010 with keener pricing, lunch deals, the rise in no-reservation restaurants, happy hours, illegal and underground restaurants, as well as the decline of the pub. Comfort food will remain on the agenda for 2010, but comfort food doesn't have to just come from your home nation or cuisine. We expect simplicity to be one of the watchwords in food for 2010. Less flowery descriptions on packs and on menus, less ingredients for more flavour, seasonal simplicity, and more natural food combinations. We expect to see the industrialised food backlash continue into 2010, the growing voice of consumers who promote alternative choices away from global food brands and heavily industrialised food production. Despite gloomy economic forecasts for 2010, we expect more consumers to want to treat, reward and trade up more than perhaps they did in 2009. We expect to see the local food agenda have even more prominence during 2010, not only through farmers markets, regional and artisan producers, but also in retailer private label, as well as global mega brands. Building on the 2009 trend, we expect to see even more people get back into cooking, even if it's just at the weekends, to cater for their friends and families because it makes them feel great. We expect more consumers to seek solace in baked comfort foods for 2010, such as mini sweets, mini treats, cake kits, pastries, cakes and breads. We expect to see more products, initiatives, programs, and in some cases enforceable limits on the back of the declining health of the industrialised nations. We expect to see more consumers taking control of their own health agenda through initiatives like DIY doctoring, eating less protein and more vegetables, health, mood and vitality foods, super or pro-life foods, as well as more foods tailored towards the needs of those suffering with allergies and food intolerances. As the plight of the planet continues to rise in awareness, we expect to see more planet-conscious eating during 2010. Think about new fish varieties, perhaps fair trade, ethical choices, sustainable choices, more food philanthropy, and also expect more hard-hitting awareness media around planet-conscious eating. We also expect to see drinking habits evolve over 2010, perhaps more artisan methods, lower alcohol beers and wines, micro beers and spirits, wines made easy, and the blur between the kitchen and the bar. Due to a new breed of consumers shopping the frozen fixture, we expect to see a greater level of premiumisation in frozen foods during 2010. As we look for cheaper, faster and more effective ways of bringing food to our consumers, we expect to see more from vending and self-service during 2010. As in 2009, we expect to see increased practices from our previous generations, such as growing your own, more seasonal eating, pickling and preserving, and buying into the feel-good brands from the past. We expect to see a continued blur and evolution of our meal times and occasions during 2010. Think about out-of-home breakfast, consumption on the move and convenience retailing. Counter that with Sunday lunch, more solo meal occasions, and a coffee to cafe culture, as well as the return of tea time. So those are our predictions. What are the headlines? Simplicity, comfort and feel good, customization, planet consciousness, food cocooning at home, the local food agenda, a need for treats and reward, a little trading up, but be squeaky clean to gain consumers' trust. We hope you now feel informed and inspired about food trends for 2010. To find out more about the Food People's food trend spotting and reporting service Food Watching, visit www.thefoodpeople.co.uk/foodwatching or drop an email to helpme@thefoodpeople.co.uk. Thanks for listening.